can't solve a problem on the same level of mind that created the problem. This famous quote from Einstein can be applied to the problem of changing undesired behaviors. In my 20s, 30s, and 40s, I collected all sorts of undesirable, unhealthy habits, including people-pleasing and binge eating and alcohol. And I thought that I could gain control of these habits through sheer willpower. But that didn't work out so well. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Science of Spirituality. My name is Tina Worthy, and I'm a hypnotherapist with open heart, open mind therapy. And in this video, I'd like to have us come to an understanding of how our brain-mind works and how we can use that information to change our unwanted habits. So here we go. Let's start at the very beginning. There's a sperm and an egg. And when they come together and those masculine and feminine energies combine, they make you. And what part of you, after this amazing occurrence happens, do you think develops first? Your heart? Your brain? Well, yes, it's your brain, and more specifically, just what we call the unconscious part of your brain. This is the part that does all the automatic things, like keeps your heart beating and your lungs pumping and your immune system working great. And all of this is not in your conscious control. And really, science still doesn't really know where all the subatomic particles that make all this happen come from. So we're really, on a most fundamental level, a complete mystery, which I find amazing. At around 20 to 22 weeks, another part of your brain is forming. And this layer is called the subconscious. And what are some of the duties of the subconscious? Well, this is the realm of the senses, and emotions come from the senses. E equals energy in motion. The mother will start to be very aware that her baby is feeling, gets excited, starts to kick. And because it is sensing is what gives us feeling. And eventually the subconscious goes even deeper than that. It is also the realm of our memories, our beliefs, and our values. And just to clarify, the brain is the organ. The mind is the energy that the brain is an organ for. And the last part of our brain, which does mind things, to develop is what we call our conscious mind. And this doesn't start to develop until around age 7 or 8. And this is the part that we haul off to school for 12 years of our life or more. And this is the part that is analytical, that can critique and compare and contrast. And usually it's what develops all our coulds, shoulds, stuff like that. But this is only 10% or less of our brain mind. So when we operate solely from this layer, our conscious layer, which is 10% or less, we become self-critical and rationalizing, and we think we can control and make changes by engaging our willpower. So let's say you've got a behavior that has become a habit. The definition of a habit is something that's become so automatic. It's now in the realm of the subconscious. The subconscious controls your habits. That's why they're so automatic. So who do you think is going to win to change that habit? Your 10% conscious mind that uses willpower, or the 90% rest of your brain? Your conscious mind doesn't stand a chance. It's like pitting an army of 10 against an army of 90. Plus, willpower makes us tense and more anxious, none of which are useful in changing a habit. We need to make the changes from the subconscious level, the level of the beliefs and the values and the senses and the emotions. But how do we do that? How do we get there? Because typically these parts of your brain don't intersect. Well, don't worry, I'm going to get to that. But before I do, I think it's also important that we have a discussion about brain waves. And what are brain waves? Well, they're the different frequencies that our different levels of mind or consciousness operate on. And these 5 brainwave states are beta, alpha, theta, delta, and gamma. Now, these brainwaves can be measured with an electroencephalogram or EEG. And what they're measuring is the frequency or hertz and or the amplitude or band power. The fastest and most frenetic brainwave state is called beta. And this is our waking state, when we're what we call our conscious mind. And it's whenever we're processing information from our sensory data. And typically we're in a bit of stress when we're operating in this mode. But our brain waves start to slow down in the next brainwave state, known as alpha. This operates between 8 to 10 hertz. And this occurs whenever we relax, daydream, meditate, are under hypnosis. The alpha brainwave state is actually a bridge between the conscious and the subconscious mind. I find it interesting that they measured Einstein's brain waves and discovered that he spent most of his time, even his waking time, in alpha brainwave state, which is a more creative and relaxed frame of mind. When our brain waves slow down to between 4 and 7 hertz, this is known as the theta state. It happens when we're dreaming, and it's solely produced by the subconscious. It is also known as the hypnagogic state. This frequency also allows us to access traumas and memories, and it can also lead to mystical and spiritual experiences. The slowest frequency of our brainwave states is called delta, and this occurs during deep dreamless sleep. And it probably allows us access beyond the veil into the collective unconscious. And you could probably thank your delta waves if you've got strong psychic abilities, strong intuition. I also believe that's why we need to sleep. That's probably when we're accessing whatever the life force is that creates us and keeps and sustains us. It's where all our deep healing takes place. Now there's actually a 5th brainwave state known as gamma. It was only recently discovered, and it took scientists by quite a surprise because it was discovered in Buddhist monks, and it operates at a super high frequency, like 31 to 100 hertz. But all the while, the monks are in a relaxed meditative state. So this is like you're super conscious, and very few humans at this point in time anyway are able to access this brainwave frequency. I don't know about you, but the concept of gamma waves just absolutely fascinates me. Science also knows now that the conscious mind is incapable of producing gamma waves. It comes from a whole different part of our mind. It's produced in the thalamus. And the brainwaves themselves are omnidirectional instead of unidirectional, so they go out, like this instead of like this, and therefore can receive much more information. And I believe that the heart of these waves represents balance and coherence. and hopefully is a state that we will all evolve to eventually. Our different brainwave states directly correspond to the different parts of our brain that we talked about earlier. Beta brainwaves are produced only in the prefrontal cortex, or the conscious, later developed part of our mind, our brain. Theta is only produced by the subconscious part of our mind, and the two cannot communicate with each other directly. The only way you can communicate between the subconscious theta and beta prefrontal cortex is via alpha. Alpha is like the bridge that can carry information from the subconscious or even deeper levels to the conscious. And that's why a vehicle like hypnotherapy can be so effective in changing undesired habits or anything that's preventing you from becoming your ideal self. And I found this to be so true in my own journey when I stopped, creating more suffering for myself just from trying to use willpower and beating myself up when that wasn't effective. Now, I just, through hypnosis or meditation or any state where you're relaxed so you can take that bridge over to the subconscious. And it's such a different way of approaching healing that I have found to be most effective for me anyway. When it comes to measuring our intelligence, the conscious brain is called our IQ. The subconscious brain is called your EQ, or emotional intelligence. And I would even venture to say that there is a third type of intelligence called your SQ, your spiritual intelligence. Your IQ will typically go down a few points within a lifetime, but your EQ, it can shift hugely. It can take quantum leaps according to the events in your life and how you react to them. It can go hugely up or hugely down. And it's your EQ that will drive your life. So the goal should become more emotionally and spiritually intelligent. I have found that the best way to heal and make changes is to bypass the conscious mind and make changes from the subconscious. The definition of hypnosis, the hypnotic state or trance, is to bypass the conscious mind in order to access that bigger part of our mind. And we do this with suggestions and acceptance of change while addressing the subconscious mind. Common sense lies in this realm, the subconscious, not the conscious. Unfortunately, our school teachers taught us just the opposite. And look what it's taken our world to. In order to become more emotionally and spiritually intelligent, we almost need to reverse engineer ourselves. Like when we're first born and up until 2 years, our brain is operating solely on delta waves. It's connecting us with that universal mind. At 3 to 6, we are operating mostly in theta waves 24/7, which is going through life in a dreamlike state. And this is the state where children just absorb whatever is in their experience, like sponges, before they're able to analyze it consciously. From 7 to 11 years, 11 to 12, children predominantly are producing alpha waves 24/7, that bridge. Our prefrontal cortex doesn't fully develop start to develop until around age 12. And from age 12 on, Beta waves typically become the predominant brainwave state that most humans operate from, unless we can start cultivating the more relaxed states. And this is why making the effort to expand our consciousness is so important. So let's look at addiction from the subconscious's point of view. So addiction has definitely become a habit. But from the subconscious point of view, it's trying to protect you. Its intentions are good. Now, you may know that whatever your addiction is not healthy, but the subconscious doesn't know that. It just is fulfilling your desire to change your state, which is what a craving is. A craving is something triggers it, which brings thoughts and feelings, and you want to be in a different state. When you indulge in the habit, the addiction, you feel better because your state changes. So the subconscious thinks it's doing a great job. I hope all that information made a few light bulbs go off. But now this is what I do. I help people bridge from the conscious mind into the deeper layers of our mind, which is so rich in possibilities. Change a lifelong habit, heal from trauma, anything from the past, explore what it really means to be a spiritual being having a human experience. I have 8-week program that I've designed to facilitate any of the above, and I will leave the link to access my application to work with me one-on-one in the description below. So, with an open heart and an open mind, anything is possible.